Hi everyone, welcome to day 4. Good to have everyone on the call, and I hope our class yesterday was exciting and it was great. So kindly confirm if you can hear me. Hi, good evening everyone. So I noticed that uh, I don't, I haven't introduced myself. I haven't introduced myself while we're on class. So maybe so many persons were second guessing who I am, or maybe you already um, kind of know who I am from the Slack channel. So for the next 4 minutes, I want to address something. So first thing I want to address is um, to get a better resolution of the class. Ensure your phones or your system, I prefer you use system, it's on a landscape mode, and then also ensure that you're using a very high um, resolution. Then also, I prefer you are using a system because it's better. So, and yeah, I think, and I also dropped on the group chat that um, we're going to do something after the end of the class on the Slack channel, which is we're going to appoint a class, let me say, class governor for this court, so and that uh, we can always that stands in between us assisting the facilitators, and also students can be able to reach out to, and we can easily pass information. All right, although we're in the group talking to everybody, but we believe that is going to help a lot. So as usual, let's. I want to do another thing again is that if you're on this call, I want you to drop a message on the Slack channel. Just a simple message. Maybe class has started on the Slack channel. I want to map. Just one is a way of me knowing those who are on the call and also on the Slack channel. That is one. And then the next thing we'll do is, as always, we need to share the link. Let's always do that. I know why we say we should share the link. It's very important. So those are the two things we do in the next 2 minutes. Share the link, send a message on the Slack channel that you are on the call. Okay. So I, for one, I'm sharing the link on my WhatsApp because I want everybody, even on my WhatsApp, to participate. Great. So I've done that on my end. I've done that on my end. And good. Let's check on the Slack. So checking Slack on my end, I can see Cisco. I don't know Cisco. I would prefer you put your name. Etinosa says class has started. Susan class has started. Midra class has started. Okay. Dorcas is typing. Rachel is typing. Okay, fine. You guys are here. Okay. So let's start running. So yesterday we started. Thank you guys. So yesterday we started with um, variables and all of that. But today we're going to continue from where we stopped yesterday, which is I have to finish this notebook because we have a lot to cover. Okay, I saw what Doc has posted on the Slack channel, the error she was having. So, Lucas, if you're on which you are, I've seen that you're in class right now. So you see that this is my print function From looking at my print function, you know that you know your mistake. You don't assign a value to a print function. So guys, whenever you are doing your practice, always ensure that the recordings or the class session is with you. Okay, you can fast forward to the session that you want to fast forward. When you're reviewing the class session, it doesn't mean that you have to start from the beginning. Fast forward to the place where you feel, oh, I missed something in this part, I want to watch it again, and come over there and come back and watch and watch and watch. So that's the simple correction that Doc needed to make. You don't assign. Let me even say this: you don't assign. Yeah. So maybe even down to the inputs. Okay, you don't assign values to this. But the more you use, the more you we learn, the more we go further, the more you understand better. So we'll start with relational operators. How does Python express to compare if two operands? Okay, if two operands are the same. So by operands, we declare a variable called num1. We assign 5 into it. We declare a variable called num2. We assign 10. So this variable num1 and num2, they are called operands because they are similar to a variable, something that is holding a value. So we call them operands. All right. So how do we check if variable one and num1 and num2 is the same? We use a double equal to sign, so to check if the both are equal. Now, what relational operator does is that it gives us either true or false. So if we say it's giving us true or false, what is the data type? I'm asking you guys now on the class. What data type is true or false? So what data type is true or false? Let me see it on the comments. Boolean, yes. So it's a Boolean data type. Fantastic. So I'm going to run this, and you see we are getting false. So it's coming out as false because the result we're going to get from here is going to be a Boolean, and then it's going to save it inside result, and then we'll print the result out. That's why we have false. So also, how does Python work with not equal to? So it's the exclamation mark and the equal to sign. So with our variables that we have set, okay, we set our variables here, and then we set another variable called results, and we are saying it's num1 not equal to num2. Definitely num1 is not equal to num2. So when we print the result, we're going to get true. So greater than, it's with this symbol. All right, so that's how we check if the value on the left side is greater than the value on the right side. So this is it, and the same with less than. So less than is the symbol. So I think it's something that we are all conversant with. Every one of us knows. So, but what about how we do greater than or equal to? So greater than or equal to is you put the greater than, the great sign, greater than sign, and then you add an equal to the front. So you're trying to compare if this number. So this is very important, especially when we are doing control flow. We're going to be using a lot of these relational operators. So I'm going to run this. Yes, I'm going to get false, and the last one I'm going to check is less than. So it's just an opposite of greater than. So if I run this, I'm going to get true. So another basic operators or logical operators or operators that we see in Python, it's the logical operators. And logical operators is divided, we have three. Although when you go into um, data analytics with Python, there's a way Pandas does his own logical operators. But currently, the traditional way Python does is what we are going to look at. So we have and. So I don't know if some of us who've made with you've heard about truth table before. If you heard about truth table. So what truth table says is that it is true if both operands. Remember, I've already explained operands. If both operands are true, it is true. Otherwise, it is false. So what we are saying is that We want to compare, in this case now we are using relational operators, and then the result that is coming out from relational operators, we are logically checking them together. So two different relational expressions that we have checked. We want to combine them together to maybe to get a more derived or a more complex or the more concise answer. So applications of logical operators. Let's say you are saying if somebody is greater than 18 and the person is let's say, what do I say now, if somebody is greater than 18 and the person has a car, the person can attend the meeting or a meeting. So what you're saying is that for someone to attend a meeting, he needs to first of all have a car. So that's part where you say have a car. That is a relational operator you are using. The person have a car. So that is either true or false. Then the next thing is that the person must, what was my second point again? I said have a car or 18. Yeah. So if the person is also greater than, is above age 18, so the person should also come to the party. So you have to check those two first before if the person is allowed to enter the party. So that is where logical operator comes in play. So before we'll be checking is number one greater than number two. But then what if we want to check that A is number one less than number two and is number two less than number three? From my examples here, number one is 5, number two is 10. And obviously, 5 is less than 2, so this is true. This part is true. And 15, which is number 3, is also greater than number 2, so this is true. So in that case, our answer will be true because the both operands or expressions, they are all true. These both expressions are all true. So because they are all true, we get a true answer. Okay, let me send a love emoji or a 100% emoji. Now we can also this is just a simple explanation. You don't need to crack your head about it. So let's say we have an interview score, like I was explaining just now. We have an interview. Let's say the person scores above score is 80 and the employee's age is 30. So we are saying that this is a control flow statement. If the interview score is greater than or is equals to 80 and the employee's age is lesser than or equal to 29, we're going to tell the person congratulations or tell the person try again. So guess what will happen before I run this? First person to guess, what will be the attributes? I'm going to give that person. Okay, I just saw Kesley wishing me good morning. Kesley, good morning to you. It's evening over here. Okay, can you guys still hear me? Because I'm not saying. Okay. Try again. Yeah. Fantastic. So it's going to be try again. So we're going to run it and say it's going to be try again. Now, why is it try again? It's try again because the next this other condition we just expressed here says that the person's age should be less than or equal to 29, and what we have here is that the person is age 30, so it's going to be try again. So it does not meet this condition. So that's how you operate with and operator. But then we have the known. So what does all does is that all says that it is true if any of the condition is true, otherwise it's false. So if the person, in our case right now, I'll first of all use the first example I did when I said if the person has a car, then the person can come even if the person is not up to age 18. If the person is up to age 18 and does not have a car, the person can come. So as long as one of the condition is true, the answer is going to be true. But if the person is not up to age 18 and the person does not have a car, the person cannot attend the party. So we'll look at this again. We have num one is greater than is 5, num 2 is 10. So is num 1 greater than num 2? The answer is false because 5 is not greater than 10. But is 10 lesser than 15? The answer here is true. But if we pick these two expression and all it together, we're going to get true because one of the condition, which is this one, it is true. This is true. Sorry, not highlight it. This is true. Why this is false? Why this is false? Do you understand? So if we go back to those of you who said congratulations instead of try again at the first instant, hope you understand what I'm explaining now. So if we go back to our code, the previous example we gave, you see that now we want to try this. So what will be the answer here? What will be the answer here now? Okay. Congratulations. Yeah, that will be the answer. So it's going to be congratulations. Okay. Good. Fantastic. So now what is not? Not is just you want to negate the outcome of a result. Let's say we've done what we want to do, we got true. I want to negate it to false. If the final answer is true, not it to false. If the final answer is false, not it to true, meaning negate it. So not is more like you are gathering after doing your entire procedure, you want to now negate the outcomes of it. That is what not is about. So like you see, I'm using all. Yeah, I can use anything in between as long as I'm not in it. So it's fine. You can use an in between the expression or you can use all. Doesn't matter. But what you need to understand is that this first expression is false, but this second expression is true. So literally our answer should be true if we all them together. But because I'm going to use not, look at not at the back of it, it's going to turn the answer to false. So if I come back here now and say I want to ask the same question where we have interview score greater than equal to 80 and employees age lesser than equal to 29, if I run this, obviously the answer is going to be try again. Even as much as this was true, when you all them, as long as I'm not seeing my final answer, it's going to be try again. So that's just how logical operator works. But then let's look at arithmetic operators. Very, very, very simple. This one we're just going to rush through them because they're very, very simple. Arithmetic operators, these are common mathematical signs that we use in um, let's say, let me see how I did mine. Okay, I think I'll just fine. Let me take this one out. I don't want this one. But let me just show you. Let me just show you the operators how they look like so that I can I can explain them later. So first, I want to we'll look at addition. Addition is just to plus your plus symbol. Then we look at subtraction. The subtraction is a dash symbol, not an underscore. Let me explain. This is not subtraction. This is not subtraction. Subtraction is not shift. It's not an underscore. Subtraction is a dash. All right. So that's the difference. Multiplication is hash. All right. This is hash or star. Okay. So this is multiplication. Is not don't multiply with. Don't say multiplication is s. S is not multiplication. Okay, divide is this with your forward slash or backward slash. Then there's what we call modulus. Modulus returns the remainder after a division. We're going to see it very soon. And the next one we have floor. Floor is to return just the whole number after a division that has decimal point. Then exponential is just to return the power of a number. Okay, so these are basic stuff that we have. But I want to say this that when it comes to programming, board mass applies. How many of us know what we call board mass? So how many of us know what we call board mass? Just say yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay. That's good. I like that. Okay. Board mass or paint mass, both works. Great. Okay, okay. Let's go ahead. So let's now look. Um, okay, I'm just trying to try to. All right, fine. So let's go ahead. I was just trying to settle some stuff. So I don't think I need this. I don't need this. So let's look at plus. What we've been looking at since. Hmm? So plus we have age 40. Hey, I'm going to show you something very tricky. I'm going to ask this question. Very, very tricky. So we have something like this called age. Age is equals to 40. Okay. If I say age is equals to age plus 30 and I say print age, what do you think the answer will be? Somebody should guess. So age is 40. That's this first line. The next line, I'm saying that age is equal to age plus, I don't want to show you the answer. Age is equals to age plus 40. What do you think the answer will be? It's 70 oxoms. Oxoms. So the answer will be 70. Now, why 70? I'm going to explain it. Now, everybody listen attentively. This is very important. You need to understand this so that you don't make mistake. When you declare a variable, when you declare a variable at the left side, it is a memory space, and then you assign a value into it. So it means that your computer is taking that variable, that value inside the variable. So in this case, 40 has been stored inside age. But if your variable is appearing after your assignment, this assignment sign, this symbol, if a variable name is appearing after it, meaning on the right side, which is what we have here, which is what we are having here. Let's say no, this one. Python does not see it as a memory, as a place to store a memory or to store a value rather. It sees it as the value inside. It's reading the value inside. So you could see on my cursor is showing you literal 40. So so what I'm saying is that by the left side of an assignment symbol, if a variable is appearing there, is a memory. But if it's appearing after the assignment symbol, it is a value. So what is going to happen here is going to be 40 plus 30. And remember, we said that the content of a variable can change. The values in a variables can change. It modifies. So the line, because programming goes line by line. So this first line we read, it will put 40 inside age. Then when it comes to this line, it reads that age is 40 here, plus it with 30. It will override whatever was stored inside age and set it back towards 70. So when you print age, it will become 70. That's how the logic is. Very, very simple, but you have to understand it. Okay, so let's do another one to explain subtraction. So we have first number. First number, what type of let me ask you guys a question if you can get this one. What type of variable declaration is this? I called it yesterday when I was trying to tell you that there's a way you can declare. There's no space in a variable. Either you use this method or this method. And I said this what this method is. See, the little things I say like this are your assessment for the week. So just be following attentively. What type of what type of naming convention is this? Variable naming convention. What do you call it? Imagine you are doing an interview and they ask you this. Hmm? Kame, that's awesome. That's awesome. Apparel, that's awesome. Awesome. So Kame Kitson. I like that. So let's go ahead. You guys are learning. So in this case, what do you think result will be? What will be the answer for result? Somebody just guess quickly. What is the answer for results? Based on what I've explained regarding when the variable is appearing after the equal to sign, what do you think is the answer for the results? Let me see. 10. That's good, Elvis. So it's going to be 10. Yeah. So it's going to be 10. So this is 40 minus 10. So on this divide, once we run it, this is going to be 1.333. Just going there. Now, see the difference between floor and normal divide. So I'm going to run this 2, and I want the answers to appear together. You can see the difference between the first and the second code or the set. When we use a single one, it gave us the 0.3333. But when we use the double, which is what we call floor division, it took out the decimal. So you use this a lot when you want to. Maybe you are building an application, and maybe sometimes divisions are going to occur or something, and you don't want to get decimals. You just want to. It does not round up. It's not rounding up. Let me show you that it's not rounding up. Let's set this one to. I want to set this to 70. For example, let me set this to 70, and let me set this to 25. Let me see what happens here. Awesome. So we get 2.8 this place. But if I turn this to, funny enough is I don't need to, I just need to say first number. Let me just do it because I've already declared it. Let me just do it. Let me say 70 25. I don't need to repeat it before. For clarity's sake, let me repeat it. If I run this, do you see that we are getting just 2? It's not round. Normally, if you are doing round up, it will round up 2 to 3. Okay, but floor is not rounding up. You are just eliminating everything after the decimal. Okay, so I even explained the random function. So I'm showing you the random function. So this is a random function right now. I'm changing the numbers. I think here was 70. So this is a random function. So now we set number one to 17 as before, second number to 25. So if first number is divided by second number, we want to round up. I'm going to take this thing off. I'm going to take that stuff I did. So round is a function. So once you call round, you open a bracket and you pass the expressions inside. Once you run it, see we are getting 3. It has rounded it up like 3. Okay, so I want you guys to understand that floor division is not doing random. So let's do modulus. So what does modulus do? Modulus returns the it returns the number that is remaining after a division. Let me ask you guys something. 5, we'll say 5 divided by 2. How do we used to do it when we're in school? We'll say 5 divided by 2 is 2 remainder 1. So what we are telling ourselves is that if 2 going to 5, it's going to go twice, which is 4, and then there's going to be a remainder, which is 1. So it's unable to pick that one. What if we do 3 into 5? Or so that's 5 divided by 3. We're going to say 1 remainder 2. So it means that 3 can just go into 5 once, but the remainder is 2. Now, what modulus is that it brings the remainder of a division. So in this case of 40 and 30, 30 can only go into 40 once, and the remainder will be 10. So if we say 40 modulus, now the modulus is the percentage sign. Okay? Modulus is percentage sign. So 40 modulus 30, which is first number modulus second number, we are going to get 10. So the 10 there, is actually the, um, 10 there is actually the, 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 10 there is actu I have to put my phone on silent. It's actually sorry guys. To put my phone on do not disturb mode. Okay, so it's actually rounding up. So not rounding up. It's actually bringing out the remainder. Are we still together? Like, can I say an emoji so that I will know that we are together? And can you still hear me? Awesome. We are together. So exponential, like exponential just simply means you are raising to power. So let's say we have 20. We want to raise 20 to the power of 2. So 20 to the power of 2 is 400. But also Python has a function called power or power. So power can do the same thing as this exponential symbol. Power can do the same thing. You just pass in the base and then you pass the number that you want to exponent. We will check these things when we do function. I will tell you guys to go and find like C710 inbuilt function in Python and use it for something. Or that would be an assessment. So I think that's all for our arithmetic operations. But I want to show you guys something. This one they don't teach people, but I like to teach my students things that are very, very smart so that when you're coding, you code smart. And then when you see things on YouTube, it doesn't um, get you scared. Okay, Susan is waving. Okay, I guess Susan is just saying she's here. Okay. So, what if we want to do arithmetic increments? So, incrementation, what that means is that there's a logic in Python that look at what I'm doing. In addition, I'm saying salary is equals to 2,500. Remember what I told you that if a variable is appearing at after the equal to sign, if the variable is appearing after the equal to sign is a value and no longer a variable like a memory location, it is appearing as a value. So if we want to override salary, we're going to say, okay, salary plus 10. We want to increase the salary plus 10. So once we run that, our salary becomes 2,510. So what the Americans will say 2,500, 2,510. So 2,510. But there's another way we can do it in Python. Since the same variable, since it's the same variable name, you understand? It's the same variable we are storing something inside, and we are changing. So this is where we now use the incrementation concept, where we say, okay, we set salary into 2,500, fine, but we want to increment that same salary by 10. All we need to do is just to say that salary that we have created before plus equal to the new value we want to put inside. And by the time you run it, it's the same answer. So you see this code is shorter than this code. Awesome. That's just increment. Okay. So I do this a lot when I want to when I'm doing for loop sometimes. When you're doing for loop, while loop, or sometimes you want to um, automate something and you know that whatever you're automating is coming back to the same place. So there's no need writing the variable all over and over again. Just do your increment. And it does not just apply for plus, it applies for division, subtraction. So it applies for subtraction. You can see this minus is equal to. So what we are saying is that minus 2,500 from salary, minus 10, sorry, from salary. So it's going to give us 2,490. We can also, it's also work for divide, also dividing, and it also works for multiplication. So we are multiplying ourselves together. Is this not very, very simple, but very, very cool? I think it's very simple and very cool. All right. Okay. We are almost there because I have to finish this notebook. Then another thing I want to talk about. I brought this thing up because see, you can't. There are many things when it comes to learning programming language, especially in Python. There are many concepts and many logics. All right. For example, I can tell you guys that Boolean, in terms of Boolean, a true means one, false means zero. Okay. And I will show you guys you can convert true to one and false to zero. That's another concept. It's something you might not just know when you study, but it's there. But I want us to look at string a little bit because string is very, very important. It's so important. String is so important. But I want to just cover a few. basis of string variable. All right, so that you guys can get an idea. So let's say we have a new variable called name is Python, course is data analysis. But let's say I'll just leave it like this: Python data analysis. I'll run it. So we know we've done this single quote and double quote yesterday, where we said if you are going to quote something in between with a double quote, ensure that your print function begins with a single quote. So we've done this yesterday, and if you're going to use a double quote outside and you want to quote something, ensure that what you're quoting is in a single quote. Awesome. So I'll just play with this one also. Okay. But I have not, oh, uh my code does not have string. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. I can code real life now. So let me code. Let me explain straight for you guys. So things that I want to explain is that there are some things we call methods. Let me put a mark down. Let me just make it a little bit small like this and say dash dash methods, or let's just call it string methods. And then we're gonna do a dash dash, and then I'm going to run it at too big. I don't like it's too big. Let me make it a little bit small. No, still too big. Make it small. Then great. This is no, not it's not too small. It's not too small for my liking. Okay, this is good. Let me just make it italic, and yeah, let me leave it this way. Sorry, take this off. Great. So let me leave it this way. So string methods. So what are methods? We'll talk about that when we are doing class OOP. But method is the same thing as a function that is attached to a class. Now everything in Python is an object. I don't want to go deep inside, but hey guys, we'll look at it very, very, very well. Everything in Python is an object. Okay? So an object or is a class that has many method attached to it. Int is an object. Float is an object. Everything is an object. For example, let me show you something. Let me show you something. Follow me, guys. If I say something like age is equal to 10, and I come down and I say I say print type age, and I run it, you see it's telling me that it's a class and that class is integer. So anything that is a class is an object. If I say that age is now a string of no 10 is now a string, to tell me that it's a class of string. If I say age is 25, for example, 26.7, and I run it, it's going to tell me it's a class of float, so it's an object. Then if I say age is, let's just say age is true, for example, right? And I run it, it's going to tell me that it's a class of bool. So you see everything, it's literally a class. If I say it is an empty list, which we'll learn, it will tell me that it's a class of list. If I say age is an empty dictionary, it will tell me that it's a class of dates. So if I say age is an empty tuple, it will tell me that it's a class of tuple. So everything in Python is a class. All right, or let's say majority of them. Just let's just put that way that Python is an object. It's an object programming language. Okay, you understand more, or you can just sometimes just pick what I say and just read about it. The structure says everything about Python is an object. What does that mean? Just research. And now that you have generative AI with you, so it's very very cool. So string is an object. Okay, I just want to do this for like 5 minutes. So I want to show you some methods, some functions that are attached to the string class. You might not go and do that. Don't do them in integer. You have to find them. So let's say now we declared name. Name is Python. But let's change name to, let's say we have a sentence. Let's say we have a sentence, and that sentence is equal to I love PEEP community, and yeah, just do I love PEEP community. This is fine. Let me know. So let's say you have a sentence called I love PEEP community. So we run it, and then we can print it out so that everybody can see. So it's a sentence. It's I love PEEP community. Isn't that great? What if I want to make everything? So let's start using some methods. Let's start finding some methods now. What if I want to say I want this to be in uppercase? Okay, I could do it like this. There are many ways I can do it. You can say I want to print it out as an uppercase, or I want it to um um how do I say it? Okay, so I'll do it this way. Let's say sentence is equal to input. Tell me something. All right, we did input yesterday. Tell me something, and I'm going to just do dash dash. Okay, but what I want is that whatever you're telling me, I want to convert it to a lowercase, meaning whatever the person is going to enter on their. So when the person is entering it on the keyboard, it's going to be a lowercase. Make it a lowercase. So when the person is done, just print. So I'm seeing a question that is not yet time for that question. Gloria, I can't answer that question for you. That's why sometimes I'm scared when I'm teaching from the beginning. I don't want to expose too much so that students don't start asking a lot of questions that I will not answer. But you can research about it. But we'll get there. So in this case, tell me something, and I want it that when the person is going to enter that tell me something, whatever your entry, I want it to be a lowercase. So I'm going to put the dot lower. You see, the way I'm calling it is after my input, no, my input function, I'm adding a dot lower to it. Okay, somebody say, what's so this is a method. Let me over it. You can see that it says this is a dev method to a string. There's an extension I want to download. I don't know if I can. It will help me teach you guys intelligent for it. Mm, yeah, intelligent code. So I want to download this extension. However, I'm using my own boot, so remote. So I don't know. Let's see if it will work. I will go back to my. Let's just continue. So let me take this one off. I'll check it back if it's done installing. So it's still installing. So I'll check it back. So let's run this. So if I run this, you see, tell me something. I'm going to say I love the. Now I want to put them in capital letter. Everything in capital. I love peep community. So when I run this, as I'm going to press enter, you see that when my result came, so there was something wrong with. Okay, I'll check that later. I'll check that later. You see that when my results came, I love peep community. Everything is lowercase. Everything is lowercase. So let me see what was wrong. It's installed already now. So it's installed. I just need to redo my system. But that's not time to do now. Okay, so let's go back. I'll do that later. So you see, it comes out with I love peep community. All right, I love peep community because that's what this lowercase is doing. It has reduced. It has turned everything to lowercase. Okay, so I can also copy this. There's something I can copy. I can say I want to make it an uppercase, so you can do something called dot upper. Sorry, my caption is on dot upper. So uppercase, you run this. So if I write, I love deep community. So I'm going to give an assignment on this, a take home assignment, and I press on that. It's going to give it as you know, I love peep in capital letter. So let's do one more. Let's do title. Let's do title. So what does title means is that you want to capitalize each word. So I'll just do the title. And when I do this, I'm going to give you guys an assignment. And this one you submit it to. So this is going to be, let's say, I is monitor love keep community. And when I run it, I'm going to get an answer. I is capitalized, love is capitalized, peep is capitalized, community is capitalized. So, but this is your assignment now. Let me write your assignment. Create assignment is going to be create, and you submit it. The Google link will be shared to you immediately after the class, or at most before the next class, where you upload your script. You upload the assignment to it. Okay, yeah. So there are different characteristics determined. Now I will explain. Yeah. So let's say sometimes, don't worry, when we are writing complex code, you see me where I will say I want to take something from the user, but I need to make it a lowercase so that I can trap it. Because sometimes, if you're running some maybe password, remember when some people enter password, if your password is meant to be a lowercase, hmm, and you made your P, for example, in capital, capital letter P, it will tell you error in password. But there's some sites where it doesn't matter as long as the password is what you want, what you, even if it's capital letter, or any of the letter in between is capital letter, as long as it is the exact meaning or the exact password you choose, it's going to allow you login. So those things are cases that are allowed. Okay, when you feel like case sensitivity are not required, or they are required depending on what you want to do. Okay, but there's a lot to this. For example, let me just do that before that question just change my mind to say, okay, what if I want to do something like this, and I want to say, no, there was a part this is what I want. I'll pick this. Let me pick this one where I say, I love the community already. What if I want to find, let's say I want to find find underscore p, for example, is equal to sentence dot, there's a method called find. I want to find, what do I want to find? I want to find anywhere you have something like this pi, for example. Then I want to print this, my sentence find. When I print it, it's going to give me 7. It's going to give me 7. Okay, it's going to give me 7. And that 7 is giving me, it is the index. Oh, there's another thing called index. There's a lot to explain when it comes to string, guys. It's index. So string starts from 0. Counting starts from 0. Just follow me. Let me do something. Just follow me, guys. This is now becoming, I know it's becoming a lot. Let's say we have like this. Let's say we have name. I'm going to use Gloria's name again because Gloria has been very active in class and also active in the Slack channel. So how many letter do we have in Gloria? So if you can't, it's going to be something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is true because if you print the length of Gloria, that name is going to be 6. That's going to be is the count of it. But what if we want to find what position is G? So string, you can do something like this: name. Let's say we want to say print the name of Gloria in this 0. We are going to get G. So I know most of us that this might be very, very new. Like, hey, what is why is G 0? So there's when we get to list, you understand this thing where we talk about position and index. Okay, but just know that list string is like a sequence. Remember, we said when we're doing a variable, we said a string is a sequence of character. Sequence of character. So anything that is a sequence, it means that it can be counted, it can be numbered, and also anything that is a sequence, it can be iterated. And if it can be iterated, it means it can be looped over. Okay, can loop over. So to just sparkle your mind, I can say for later in our name, I want you to print the letter. Okay, add for me. So it's going to print it Gloria. So it's what when we do for loop, when we do looping, you understand what it's doing where. So it's going inside that variable code name and it's taking the letter one after the other. You can only do this for a string, you can't do it for numbers, all right? But you can do it for a string, you can do it for a list, you can do it for a tuple. We're going to see all of those things in this class. So logic comes first. So let me give you an assignment because I don't want to talk too much about this. I have the last part I need to teach. So your assignment is going to create a Python script that implements 10 methods, 10 string methods that were not covered in class. So please, what we covered in class are, as my what was covered in class for disclaimer. What we covered in class, we did cover the lower, upper, um, title, and find. So there's a lot in this. I want you guys to go and so this will be your assignment one, and you have to submit this assignment tomorrow. So I'm going to say this is assignment one. Shedrack, please take note of this. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste on the comment section so that some persons can copy. So this is your assignment one. Just find it. I don't know how many to be, but just find at least. I think we should have more than 10 or up to 10. So I'll post that on the Slack channel so that every one of us can do that. So I think I'll post that on the Slack channel very soon. And I don't know if Harrison is on the call. I need to get the attendance sheets. Can I get the attendance link? The attendance link so that people can feed the attendance link. So the class, that's the duty of the class rep to be reminding me of things like this. When it gets to something like 8:50, 5 minutes to the end of the class, everybody's going to fill in attendance. So let me show you assignments on the board. Let's quickly look at data conversion. That's our last last topic for today. So data conversion is that it's possible for you to convert um, one data type to another data type, depending on the rules also that apply. So, for example, we will use the function, the data type function to do that. So, let's say we have int function, float function, string function. We want to convert it. Given the fact that you have name as pip community, you have height as 5.8, you have postal code as 230, 560. Okay, so I'm going to run this. If we find the type of height is coming as a float, what if we want to convert it? Okay, let's say we want to convert it. We want to convert this 5.8 to an integer. We'll use the int function and you pass in the value of the variable name, which is height. Once you pass it, we run it. You can see that we have converted it to, let me take this thing out so that it doesn't confuse anybody. So we'll create a new variable called convert con height. Okay, that's a conversion of the conversion of height rather. So once you int it, you see that it has taken away the decimal point. So that's what happens when you convert a float um, to an integer. Somebody's saying why? I don't understand the why you're asking. So that's why it converts. That's how it converts a float to an integer. It takes away the decimal point. But also, what if you have an integer called to age and it's 20? You want to now convert it back to, you don't need the type, you can always do that. You want to convert it to a float, you use the float symbol. So age can be converted back to um, a float and then you get 20.0. So it puts the point back because you are converting it to a float. Then the last one I want to show us is postal code. I want to do that. Let's print our postal code. Print post code or postcode rather. You see our postcode is appearing as a number, but if we find the type is a string. Don't forget the type is a string. Okay, because we're using print, that's why it's not appearing with a string. If I type it like this, if I just put only postcode here and I run it, I'm going to get it as a string. But you're not allowed to do this. Always ensure when you want to bring out an attribute, you put a print. Jupyter Notebook allows you to do this, but if you are working with a Python script, you get an error. Okay, so I can convert this post code. So I'm going to do compost. I can convert it because it is a number inside a string. I have the ability to convert it to an integer that I want, or even a float, because it is a number. So if I do this, if I run this, it's going to work. And by the time we print, let's just come back here and that's it. Print con. I think I've compost. It's going to come as a number. And if you paste compose like that, just the way we did the post code, you see that there is no symbol attached to it. And what is the type now? Type is now an integer, right? Type is an integer. So you can do that. So I think we've done this, how to convert. We've done this, we've done this, we've done this, we've done this, we've done this. Yeah. So what happens when you want to convert? I think we have a variable called name. Pip community. What happens if I want to convert pip community to an integer? So if I say convert name is equal to, for example, int underscore name, and I want to now do name, print con underscore name, I'm going to get an error. So the error is that invalid return with percent. You cannot convert anything that has alphabet to a number. Okay. So, guys, with this, we've come to the end of this notebook and the end of this class. I'm going to copy this and just comment and rerun it back. Then our next class, we're going to start with, you see we have a lot of notebooks to go. Oh, my notebooks, we have a lot. So our next class, let me just quickly scroll up and see what we're starting with. Control flow. We're going to start with control flow. So you guys, we are doing well. By tomorrow, I expect that we go through this on time and finish this so that we have a lot to cover. But let's go to the class group chat. What I want us to do on the Slack channel is that you have been attending the class for the past 4 days. Mention the name of the person you want to be your class rep. The person whose name was mentioned the highest time between now to the next 2 hours after this class, or let me open it to between now to 3 hours to our next class, which is tomorrow. The person becomes the class rep. Will come to class tomorrow and announce the person winner. So let's do it on the Slack channel, not the WhatsApp channel. And also, please don't send questions to the WhatsApp channel. Please send your question to the Slack channel. We have about quite a number of persons in the Slack channel. Most of you are not saying anything. I'm not pressuring you to say anything because it has not choked you yet. All right. I'm not expecting it to choke you deeply, but don't worry. I know when students start coming at, I will be the one begging yourself to say, "Oh yeah, wait, let me answer you," because I know. So all of you forming crews, fine. I know there are some Agbakoda here who are just here waiting for when they will reach their point where they will start coughing out. But don't worry. Those of you who are just learning, be asking your questions so that when these people start asking their questions as the course progresses, you will not be lost. You will know what to do. I'm giving you advice now. Okay. So, guys, that is it. We are done for today. Gloria, what is your question? Are there shortcuts to add a new code? Say I'm covered this like that. There are no shortcuts to do it. It's your plus and minus. When you come here, you see your plus, you see your minus. No shortcuts. Okay. So yeah. So guys, let's go to the Slack channel and ask our questions. And I'll see you. Oh, you know, in the next class. It's just 1 minute to 9. Let's enjoy with that. Bye bye, guys.